Hey everyone, it's Norm here from International Motor Cars, and today I'm going to tell you guys 5 cars that I wish I never sold. I'm going to go over them one by one and tell you the reasons why I wish I never sold them. Some of them financial, some of them emotional, but you'll see that they're all very special cars in their own way. So let's start it right now. I'm going to actually throw in kind of a 6th at the top. It's a car that I currently don't regret selling, but I think sometime in the very near future I will. And that was our C63 Black Series. Reason why I think I'll regret that in a few years is, first off, I think that car is only going up in value, definitely not going down. And it's a car that I don't think we'll be able to probably buy one again. They only sold 30 of them in Canada. And most people keep them. They're collector cars, really. People keep them real low mileage and they just hold them for the same reasons. So, not to say we won't get one again, but that is an honorable mention in my list of cars I regret selling. So number 5 on the list, this car goes back, way back to 2013. This was a 2006 Ferrari F430 Spider, but it had a gated manual transmission. And cool thing about this car was we actually took it in 13, sold it sometime that year, and took it back in trade in 2016 against an Audi R8. Normally an F430, cool car, but when you add in the factor of a 6-speed gated manual, that car just becomes a totally different experience. Really creates an emotional thing with that car, as well as, again, a gated manual Ferrari, only going up in value, 430s with stick, less than 5% produced. Cool car, only going up in value, nothing sounds like a gated manual rolling through the gears. Number 4, our very first Lamborghini Gallardo. So this is a car we bought in 2012. And you gotta keep in mind, in 2012, we didn't sell anything like the cars we have now. So that car was just a car. It was a car that we bought, sold instantly, made money. That's all it was. Today, we've got several Lambos, and if 3 more came in tomorrow, I'd buy them. Like, they're not, it is what it is now. So that car, very cool car, because it was the very first Lamborghini we ever had. And another cool thing, gated manual transmission. So again, same points as the Ferrari, a gated manual rolling through the gears is an experience unlike no other. And cool thing about that car, back in 2012, believe it or not, this was an 05 Canadian car with higher mileage. I think it had 50,000 K. No accidents, no claims, really nice car. We paid, I think, low 70s for that car. So you look at what a gated manual Gallardo is today, a nice one's 130, 140, maybe even more. And you won't find any of them for 100, 110. That'd be a bad example. So to buy that car for 75 grand back then, that was the money for it. But if I could buy that car today, you could bring me 20 of them. And again, only going up in value. That is car number 4 on the cars I regret selling. Car number 3 on my list is a 2006 Mitsubishi Evolution 9. Now, this car, not quite like the others on the list, but bought this car through one of our wholesale sources. And it was a kind of just like, hey, cool, it's an Evo 9. You don't really see any of them. And this was been in 2016. And the unique thing about this, obviously the Evo 8 and 9 was never sold in Canada. So it was a US spec car. And clean title, which if any of you are familiar with Evo 9s, most of them are written off. And it had very low mileage. I want to say somewhere around 40,000 miles, so 60,000 K. So again, anyone who's familiar with these Evo 9s, know most of them are high mileage, rebuilt, or a combination of the two. So this was a clean title, low K, And this thing had an extensive mod list. I can't go through it because I don't know. I just remember this car was very highly modified and like clean, high quality stuff, not like a thrown together. It was done right. Immaculate car. We put it online just to kind of gauge interest and get people in on other Evos we had, which is a common thing in the auto industry, but this was a car we actually had here. So we asked an incredibly high amount of money for it, in my opinion, and the market spoke. This car sold right away, like instantly, like days, for the full ass price. Now, this is why I regret selling it. So now that you've seen that, that happened, I want to say a month later after we sold it. Not going to get into who the owner was or what the scenario was because I'm just speculating and many years have gone by, but it was unfortunate to have that happen to a clean title, really nice car. So definitely regret selling that, number 3 on the list. All right, number 2 on the list. This goes back to 2013 as well. We had sold a 997 911 Turbo and taken a very cool 1988 Porsche 930 Turbo factory slant nose. And this car, again, wow, I wish I had that here in my showroom today because what an incredible car. From my recollection, it had a Porsche certificate of authenticity, breaking down all the original option codes. And from my research, I believe in 88, there was 144 factory slant nose turbos built. So an incredibly rare car. And that for me was one of the first cars I drove with like no power steering, no power brakes, but then a ton of power. So it really, again, tied into that emotional experience driving something like that. And of course, that car is really special. Like to have such a few amount built, just an incredible experience. That car as well, believe it or not, in 2013, we took in trade for somewhere around $35,000. And I remember in 15, 16, whenever these things went through the roof, pretty sure they were trading for 200 US, so 240, 250 Canadian at the time. So, and let me assure you, we did not get anywhere near that for it because at the time, that wasn't the market. And, again, that's not what we did. We just kind of bought stuff, sold it. If it was a deal, we just blew it out, and that was the case with that. And another cool story about that car we sold to, where did we sell it to? United, Saudi Arabia, actually. So that car went all the way to Bahrain in Saudi Arabia to a nice gentleman who I dealt with. We shipped it in a crate with Cratex, and it got there, and guy was happy with it. And of course, today, I'm sure he's happy with his investment, assuming he originally, or still owns it today. So that car, for a number of reasons, number 2 on my list of cars I regret selling. All right, you made it this far. Number 1 on my list, 1987 Ferrari Testarossa. And again, this goes back to 2013. We didn't sell cars like that back then. Again, it was just a car. It was a deal. We bought it. We knew we could flip it out right away. 19,000 miles, one owner Canadian car, had all the belts done, the servicing done, all by Ferrari. It had records. The car was immaculate, immaculate. And I remember driving that thing. You felt so cool, so cool driving a Testarossa. I wish I had that car today or stuff like that today, because the videos I'd make today would just be so cool. I wish, honestly, that's a regret that I didn't do these videos back then, because I'd have a huge channel now, but that's okay. We're going forward from today. So the Testarossa, really for all the previous reasons, value, emotional experience, just how special and rare that car is. I don't know what the production numbers are, but I'm gonna guess Testarossa is probably only a couple thousand built back then. As well, this car was white on tan, which was famed with the Miami Vice, Testarossa. So you get a lot of people referencing it to Miami Vice. And interesting fact, yes, the Testarossa in the passenger glove box does have a mirror. I don't know what it's used for, but there is a mirror in the passenger glove box, which is kind of suspicious, but I'll let you guys assume what it's for. So anyways, that right there is the 5 cars I regret selling for all different kinds of reasons, and an honorable mention. I'm sure there's going to be many more cars I regret selling over my lifetime for all different kinds of reasons, and maybe I'll document them. But until then, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned to the channel, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.